I think one of the greatest wastes of human time and talent is for one group of people to pick up the garbage of another. Yet we see it along our roads, in our parks, and even in a sacred setting like this, a national and scenic wild river, the Namekagon.
You know, the river is so beautiful, and if it has a lot of trash on it, it's just disheartening, and it takes away a little bit of the magic, and you think to yourself, who could do that? Who could leave it? But often the next group that comes will pick that up, and so I don't know who does that. I can't imagine people doing that, because if they're on the river, they must love it, and so I'm not sure why sometimes people don't pick up their trash.
It is wild and scenic, and it's also a national park, which I think a lot of locals aren't even aware of. I mean, it's a true treasure right here, and I guess, you know, you can't control how people want to enjoy the outdoors, but it seems a bit disrespectful in many ways.
Many special interest groups were represented at the Namekagon River Partnership's second annual river cleanup.
We had it was somewhere between 60 and 70 volunteers, and then if you include park staff that were out there, we had about 70 people either on the river or assisting those who were on the river. We got people from River Falls, we got people from youth organizations throughout the community, we got the fly fishing community, we got the canoeing, the kayaking community. It was amazing to see so many people get up so early and spend their Saturday morning, the first beautiful Saturday morning we'd had in a long time, well, first warm, and just come and spend their day picking up trash.
Conspicuously not present were owners or operators of tubing businesses on the river.
The Namekagon River Partnership, it's now 2 years that we've been in existence, and we decided that we would do a river cleanup as one of our first projects from Hayward down to Trigo. And we thought some great success with that last year, and thought we'll do the same stretch again to kind of compare as far as garbage goes, and not knowing how many volunteers. Well, it doubled this year. So our plans are for next year to include the upper river from the source at Lake Namekagon down to Hayward, and then also below Trigo right down to the St. Croix.
The Namekagon is one of the most heavily used of the nation's wild and scenic rivers. A 99-mile stretch between Lake Namekagon near Cable Lake, Wisconsin, and the St. Croix River on the Wisconsin-Minnesota border attracts tens of thousands of tubers, canoeists, kayakers, and anglers. Most using it, along with the various vendors making a living off the river's clean, dark waters and pristine setting, agree that this gem is being tarnished by an ever-increasing amount of trash. Tons of it. Cans, bottles, metal objects, even some household items, and clothing.
I know a lot of cans were picked up. So it seems those cans are often of alcoholic beverages, and we get a lot of those. We really, really do not like to have glass in the river, and that was something that was, surprisingly, there was a lot of glass found in this pickup. And it was about 10 cubic yards was the estimate our maintenance staff gave us for what was picked up.
We picked up bands of metal, and we had a rollerblade, tires. It was kind of and a washing machine motor was probably the strangest one.
There are no controls on the number of people who can use the river. Glass is banned. Alcohol is not. River rangers say it's a small percentage of users abusing alcohol, often becoming unruly.
I guess I wonder about the use as far as responsible use, or is it a bit of a water park kind of atmosphere that the alcohol, I think, is a big problem on the river.
And that's something we wouldn't want to ban on the river, but we have been possibly discussing having an alcohol ban at Hayward Landing itself. And we've done that in other areas of the park that we did have problems that did curb the not unwanted activity substantially.
Park Service rangers issued 12 citations for littering last year in the most heavily used section of the rivers. A senior river ranger told us many more could have been issued had they been able to catch the offenders in the act of littering.
We take it upon ourselves as being an outfitter. When we're out there, if we see something going wrong, we're certainly going to report it.
The problem might only get worse this year because sequestration has reduced the park staff.
Well, I think that's a hard one for the Park Service and the manpower that they have, and the fact that it's, 95 miles of river and you can't be every place. They just don't have the number of people that are needed to truly enforce all of it.
It's going to be very important for those who care about the river to help us, because there's no doubt that sequestration cut our park's capacity to an extent, and so there will be a little bit less staff out picking up trash. We have a lot of people throughout the summer that will come in the visitor center or talk to a ranger out there and say, I picked up a ton of trash when I was out there, can I, or a few bags or something, can you take it for me? So not only were there these volunteers that came out to do it on our cleanup day, we have such a great amount of visitors that love this river so much that people pick up other people's garbage.
My thought is if I don't pick it up, when else sees it, they'll throw more garbage. So the least we can do is do what we can with time allotted. And like I said, in guiding, I see some garbage, I go pick it up, but it's like, I can't do that all day. I won't take up somebody else's time to pick up after other people. It's all about people who care about the river, and our hopes are to continue to do things that will be the best thing for the river. And if it's picking up garbage or whatever the next project might be, it might have to be somebody outside the Park Service to help with this.
So what's the remedy?
We could do more with the education part of it, and something as simple as if it says no glass, that means no glass, and that should apply to everybody, but then you have to be able to enforce that. I mean, it's everybody's river, and it's just a matter of respecting one another's usage. Our hopes are that someone comes from another state and has never been here can enjoy the river like it's intended to be enjoyed.
We work hard here in the visitor center to help people plan their trips. So we try to make it so if you do want to take a trip on the river, we can assist you in making that an enjoyable, safe trip and with any questions you have. But we also try to outreach to get new users to get out on the river, because anybody that does go out on the river experiences that magic that is the Namekagon River. And so our goal really is to just connect people to the river and let it do its magic and help them fall in love with it.
No shortage of mud this spring. Lauren Majera takes us out on the muddy ATV trails of central Wisconsin right after this.